what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know if I've ever listened to something with 5. I think I got really excited because I can't remember whose podcast it was. It might have been on Joe's, but they had like 5 of my favorite comedians, and I was like really excited, and then I listened to it and it was really dumb just because no one, like, you can't get a word in. And
yeah. Well, shit, dude, you ready to knock into this thing?
Yeah, man, let's do it. Oh, I thought you were already going with it.
Oh, I mean, I got it rolling, but like.
Oh yeah, we can. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I always like to start them with like a little like out of context clip. I don't know if you noticed this, but like I'll start it with like you being like, yeah, I was really excited about it, but it was just 5 comedians or something. You know what I mean?
I think too. Yeah, that's whenever it gets kind of flowing, because when you just tell someone 1, 2, 3,
here we go,
then they right away that's
like they shrink up. You know?
Yeah.
Well, dude, welcome back to the show, man. It's been
thanks,
a long
man.
time since you've been on here. I know we traded. I had forgotten that we had agreed to go back and forth. It'd been too long because I've done 2 on your show, right? And you've been on here once. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah, I came on with Charlie. That was a long time ago.
That was
the band was
years, right?
Was COVID even? Wait, no, it was because we talked about that. But
I feel like it was like June 2020, though.
All right, let's not say the word COVID on this.
Dude, doesn't it hurt your ears a little bit? Somebody, we were on tour this weekend, and somebody said, "Dude, you should make like a documentary about like the COVID era music in Athens." I was like, "Nobody wants to fucking hear about that." I was like, "That's the last word I want to say." But dude, thanks for coming in, man. I'm glad we can make this work, and I'm excited, dude. It's kind of hear what you've been up to. You're one of those people that like, you're my homie, but like, I actually have a ton of people like this because I don't really hang out with people that much. But like, I never hit you up to do anything just because like I don't really go and hang out with people that much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, dude.
Are you like that?
I'm exactly the same.
Yeah.
I was telling one of my roommates last night. It wasn't my roommate. It was actually Cameron Bogan's roommate was at my house, and I was telling him, hey man, bring Cameron over sometime because this guy's always over. But I'll just see him if I come upstairs from the basement because I'm always just down there practicing, or you doing homework and stuff. But I was like, bring Cameron over. He's like I can think of him as one of my good friends stuff, but I never reach out to people that I don't really see that often. But say I'm like, you're one of those people too. I don't really hang out with that many people.
I mean, there's no reason for it. It's just like if I'm not podcasting or like you say school, I don't have any school right now, but like podcasting or on tour, like I'm not just going to go like chill at somebody's house for a couple hours. As weird as that sounds,
I don't really
enjoy
doing that, you know?
I like to have something on the agenda. You know what I mean? Like, if like we're gonna go to a show, now that's hanging out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like if we're gonna like go get some chicken wings or something. You know what I mean? But like I don't just like I feel like that's an era that everybody goes through though. Like when you're in high school and like right after high school when you did like not shit. Like you'd go to your buddy's house for like 8 hours and just like chill. You know what I mean?
I think because you're so numb from just sitting at school all day. Where now like we have time to do what we actually want to do with our day. So it's. You know, for those that do want to do that, they have time to do that. But me and you are kind of more introverted and like to do stuff. But
totally,
I kind of left all the fans hanging.
Yeah, bro, I
just kind of stopped. This. I know, dude. So I had to cut like a lot of stuff out of my life. Past year, I kind of stopped doing everything except school and. You know, I still play tennis and I go to the gym and stuff like that, but I don't really hang out with people that much. Or I'll go to shows, you know, maybe 1 or 2 a month downtown if it's somebody I really want to see. But
playing guitar a lot too, you said?
Yeah, so I had changed my major to music. I was a business major, hated it, and then changed major to music. Got really into it. Wasn't even that into it at first, and then... Yeah, I just fell in love with it, and then I felt like I needed to stop doing everything else in order to actually succeed at that and make I want to go to grad school and hopefully could teach college. That's the plan. But yeah,
that's great, man.
I wanted to talk about, for me, when I found the most freedom and satisfaction and enjoyment in life whenever I have a lot of discipline and structure, which I feel like, especially in college, a lot of people don't have. And
totally.
I think that if people kind of pursue that and look for that a little bit more, they'll have a lot more joy. Because for me, when I was doing 10 different things, like I would coach tennis, tried to play, I'd play guitar, I'd play classical, like I'd play normal stuff, I'd sing in a band, try to practice classical too, hang out with friends. Like I didn't feel like I was getting anything done.
Yeah.
And I kind of was like, what makes me happy? Like I don't feel very happy right now or satisfied. And I remember back on my life in high school when all I did was play tennis, and I went to boarding school to play tennis.
Yeah.
And I was so happy because I had one goal and I was surrounded by people also trying to accomplish that goal, just to be good at this one thing.
Absolutely.
And then now I'm back to that in music school, surrounded by people all day trying to get good at one thing, everyone's supporting each other.
That's hype, dude.
So yeah, like I said, I'd encourage people to really figure out what they want to do and know that it could also take sacrifice and
like
routine.
It's better. I think I said this on the last time we did one, but I just love this quote, dude. It's better to be I'd rather be a master of one trade than a what is this? What is the quote? You know what I'm talking about?
Like jack of
I'd rather master one thing than be a jack of all trades. Or no, I got it. A jack of all trades is a master of none. That's it. So and that was kind of like a theme of our last episode we did together for A Gen That Talks. You were saying that like you just hadn't, like you were kind of like in disarray about like what you wanted to do. Like maybe I don't want to be a rock singer kind of thing. Maybe I don't want to be a podcaster. I remember you saying that you hadn't really found. So it's good to hear that you were saying that you've got something routine-wise and passion-wise.
It really took a lot of exploring, which I'd also encourage people to do, because I feel like you really do have to try stuff to figure out what you want to do. I tried tennis. I've tried coaching tennis. I've tried, doing music, rock music, and I even, started podcasting, which I really enjoyed. And I was about to make a short film too, because I was like, well, I like watching. I think I told you, but I don't know if I told you, but I was like, I like watching movies. I'll give this a go, and had got some friends together. But I kind of stopped the production of that just because I finally found what I actually really like doing and want to spend all my time doing. So
which is music, guitar, right? Classical? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, classical guitar and studying classical.
I never would have guessed that, man.
Yeah, I would have never thought that about myself either. I feel like I could do multiple things.
Yeah.
Or there's different things like podcasting. I would love to do that too, but right now I feel like I just don't have the time. But passively. If I was some other like occupation, I enjoyed podcasting too, but I feel like right now in that phase of life I have to just focus on one thing.
I think that's smart, man. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's just like you could be like okay at a lot of things, but why? You know what I mean? But you did it the right way, like trying it out, like that I do like that about you, because like you didn't just like make plans to be in a rock band. You were in a fucking rock band. You didn't just make plans for podcasts. You did it. You teach tennis. You know what I mean? You've done the stuff, and now you found it. So you earned it, man. Yeah,
and it feels really good. A lot of people, I feel like, or not a lot of people, but I look at people who started doing what they do now when they were like 5 or 6, and that would have been nice for that to just fall in my lap. But that's not me, and that's not a lot of people. And you can't just sit back and say, "Oh, I wish I would have done it earlier." You only have it right now.
It's honestly probably better though, because think about the people. This is how I look at it, at least. Like a lot of the people that you hear about that like find their passion at 6, and like their parents are like pushing them through it. Like they kind of have to skip the era of their life where they don't have anything to do. Because like we were talking about earlier, that age of like 18 to 19, or maybe 16 to 19, where you really don't have dick going on. You know what I mean? Like you're just doing whatever you kind of want. Like maybe you're playing tennis thinking, oh, maybe I'll play tennis one day, or you're just riding around with your buddies, but like think about somebody like Tiger Woods, or like somebody who does gymnastics like their whole life, they kind of miss that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a thought on it, at least.
For sure, yeah. I read in Nadal's book last summer, and he talked about one day he started crying when he was about 16 or 17 because he realized how much he missed. Yeah. He saw his friends that he used to play soccer with and stuff, and the fun that they had and the relationship they had, where he wasn't a part of that anymore. But also, like anything, it takes sacrifice.
Totally.
I'm sure he wouldn't trade that for his success for a few good times, because he definitely has good times.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I get exactly what you mean, though, because like high school, and pretty much every group of years you have is like irreplaceable. Think about your college years, just like, you know what I mean? Think about like not being able to enjoy that fully and looking back and be like, man, I wish I'd done that. Or like, like you can never go back to high school. You can technically go back to college, but it probably never feels like that 18 to 22 mark. You know
Definitely
what I mean?
Not, yeah.
And same thing with like, I feel nostalgic about like fucking middle school, and like elementary school sometimes. You know what I mean?
I definitely don't.
Really? Dude, sometimes I'm like, man, we didn't have shit to do. We were just chilling, and we didn't even know it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't like that though. Like I look back at I was so lazy as a kid. Like I don't know if it was because like I saw my brothers doing so much stuff and I didn't want to do anything, or like until I started playing. As
your kid.
Yeah, I know. I just wish, or obviously I don't care now because I'm doing stuff now.
Because you've grown.
Like, yeah, but yeah, like I know a lot of people now that. I mean, I still feel pretty lazy a lot of times, but I know people that really don't do anything.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know how that you find any joy in that.
I don't really think they do, man. I mean, maybe some people do. Maybe some people are just on the rock, just floating around, kind of doing their thing. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, do you, man? But like you say, once you kind of get a routine going, I feel like routines are underrated.
Yeah, especially in college.
Yeah. I'd say so, because that's like really when you can pin it down and like make some good habits, because like habits are kind of everything. And I think what is it I read about routines? But I read something about like how routines are like go back like fucking 2,000 years, like Da Vinci and people were like trying to get people on routines that like the more structured your life can be, the more efficient it'll be, kind of stuff, you know?
Yeah, Leonardo da Vinci had one of the most structured days. He was up. Whatever it's called, like I can't remember the second part of the word, but
I don't know.
He would sleep in increments, like all throughout the day.
Gotcha.
Like some tribes do in South America. So he would just take short naps, and he could be really productive. You know, some people do intermittent sleep, like they'll sleep 4 hours a night, but then take a nap. So he did the really extreme version of that, where he never slept more than like 30 minutes, but slept all throughout the day.
That's crazy.
And night, so he'd never stop really working. You know, he'd take breaks, dude, but would only end up sleeping a few hours.
That's fascinating. I didn't know that at all, dude.
Yeah.
He's so interesting to me, and I've never really done enough research on him, but like stuff like that is just fucking interesting. You know what I mean? I think Albert Einstein is another short nap guy, right? Have you ever heard that?
I've read both biographies of both of them. Yeah,
is the Da Vinci one good? I bet it's great.
Did you read? They're both of the ones I read were by a guy named Walter Isaacson.
No, I haven't read either.
Yeah,
damn,
really good.
I got some books. I'll trade you. Do you have the paperback?
I have the paperback. No, I think I gave him I could get the Einstein one back because my best friend asked, and I'll get it to you. But I saw you reading the Dale Carnegie. I read that last year.
Did you like it?
I liked it a lot.
I fucking love it, man.
Yeah, I think a lot. I don't like how a lot of people think it is kind of fake.
Yeah.
And I don't know when I've talked to people about it, but like how we'll say
like the title.
You like the title?
I don't like the title.
Oh, it sounds cheesy, but it's really not. Like it's a really good guide to how to interact in social situations and stuff.
Yeah.
Like when it would say, if your wife doesn't look the best, lie. Things like that are kind of like, well, but there were so many instances where if you want people to like you, just let them talk, which I'm sure you've discovered doing this, you know, people go through life
just like
trying to like mansplain things or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, like just shut up, man. Yeah, what it says,
and they'll like you, especially if it's someone you're trying to like a girl you're trying to get to like you, or
like
boss or something like. Just let them talk.
As I was reading it, I was on like chapter 2. It started getting into that stuff. Just like let people talk and they'll like you, and like if you want people to really enjoy your presence, like listen to their stories and stuff. And I was like, fuck, man. Like, thank God I started a podcast. You know what I mean? Like, it makes perfect sense as to why people are drawn to podcasts like Rogan or whoever you listen to, you know, because they just sit there and listen.
It's so funny how you wouldn't think that something like this is so popular and it's so addictive to listen to. I heard Jordan Peterson explained it.
I love Jordan Peterson.
Said just because it's so authentic and so real, and it's two people that are curious, both trying to like unravel the curiosity of a certain subject together, and they're both fully in it with their hearts, at least the conversation for the time being, and that's why it's so nice, because I'm sure you listen to stuff that doesn't sound authentic.
Totally.
Or it sounds like someone just reading off a piece of paper the questions, like a Miss America contest or something. And
absolutely, man. Couldn't have said it better myself, man. And it's kind of a weird thought recently that I had, is that podcasts literally didn't exist until pretty recently. You know what I mean? I mean, it's been a decade or two or whatever, but like, think about it. Like REM and all those bands, like there's no long form 3-hour long conversation recorded with them unless somebody pressed record on their fucking cassette player. You know what I mean? And you couldn't just post it. You know what I mean? And there was really nowhere to put it. You know what I mean? So like, we really have it made on like hearing full conversations with people. And like you're saying, dude, you get into this flow state. Like I can feel it already kind of happening, where I don't fucking think about my phone at all. I don't think about the fucking bills. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think about anything. It's just like, we're here right now, and what's the next topic we're going to talk about, which is pretty fucking special, man.
It's so great too, because you really get to know someone in a way that like someone you really idolize or look up to, you can kind of realize, you can figure out, are they really cool? Are they genuine? Yeah. Would I want to actually be like them, or are they just someone that I?
And you can always tell after. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you can know whatever you think you know about them before. After the episode, you know exactly who they are, in my opinion.
For sure, yeah.
I think so. Yeah, don't you
Yeah,
think?
that's such a, when you listen to someone talk for 3 hours, you really know their heart and what they care about and how they think about other people too. Because I think, especially Elon Musk is one of those, you hear him talk for 3 hours, how genuine and nice he is.
Yeah, means so well.
It means so well. You really know his intentions behind what he does are for good things,
and you
just by hearing him
that.
talk for that long. Yeah, because you could fake it for 5 minutes, but I don't think. I don't think you can do it as well for 3 hours.
And you can just tell, like, just by like the jokes people make, or the way their face shrinks up when you say something, or the state they get into after an hour of being on the show. Like, all that stuff, you can just tell who they are, you know what I mean? You can tell if they really love what they're doing, everything, man. And maybe that's a stretch, but, like, I think it's true, because it kind of like the book says, too. Like, you kind of, like, when me and you get in here together, we're kind of, like, getting on the same frequency, kind of. You know what I mean? Like, we're, like, finding the middle ground, sort of. And then, like, by, like, 30 minutes in, me and you will be just, like, straight vibing. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. That podcast state. It's kind of like playing music, where you practice guitar for an hour. Maybe the first hour you're a little rusty, and then like an hour and a half in, you're just like not thinking about shit, but just playing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was hard to stop doing it, because I really love doing it, but it just, I don't know how much time it takes to communicate with other people to get them in. But like, I remember after the Hotel Fiction episode, the first time I had them in,
that was awesome.
I was so enthralled and just like in a really weird state of mind, like a good state after they left. They're so nice. They played a song with me and played one for me.
Really?
Yeah, they played that wasn't the point of it, but so they did that, and the show went so great, and I had a lot of work to do, and I still didn't practice that much that day like I'd wanted to, but I was literally so captivated by the conversation, I couldn't focus on the music stuff. And I was kind of like, as great as that was, I didn't accomplish what I wanted to do otherwise from that today. You just take, because everything you do takes up mental space, even when you're not doing it.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it's a really great thing. And even a lot of people don't want to do it if they're not famous, but it's such a great form of expression that I'm really glad that people have the outlet.
I think you'll be able to look back fondly upon them, even if you never do another one, dude. You can look back in 10 years and be like, wow, that's what I thought back then. I was, I didn't know anything, or I knew everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
And you had some great episodes, man. The Hotel Fiction episodes, and just all the Cameron one, just all those episodes were great, man. You're good at it.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah, dude. I think you should keep it going if you can one day, if guitar does eventually present you with that time. Or maybe find a way to where it applies to what you do more. Maybe bring in more classical people. Maybe bring in friends and students that are classmates, you know what I mean? Like, I wanted you to keep doing it, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, damn, I wish Luke would drop some more episodes, because you'd really give me a run on like some guests and stuff, and you're getting great combos in there, and you'd ask different questions than I would, and I was like, fuck yeah, man, love it. So if you ever did think about starting it, I think it'd be good. But like you say, I have ideas all the time. Like my latest idea was I got a drone for Christmas. I was going to start a drone videography company, made the Instagram and everything, and haven't done anything on it because, like you say, it just takes up mental space.
Dude, I'm the same as you. Yeah, I'll get, especially, I'll have an idea and I'll want to do it so badly. And it might be a stupidest idea.
Yeah.
Or just something that's so random, but for some reason I want to do it. And I need to, I'm always like, now I'm better at it, but I used to just would want to do something that is, I don't have time to do.
Yeah. You got to at least chase it down a little bit, and then I had the same thing. I thought I was gonna be a DJ, dude. I got the DJ board and everything. I was like, fuck yeah. I was like, I like music. I want to play in bars every night. Like, we don't have enough shows to make as much money as I'd like right now. This was like 2 years ago. Got the DJ board, never used it once. Like, tried to play around with it. I was like, I'm not passionate about this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, dude.
But that's how you realize.
One thing that comes to mind, my parents were trying to get me to figure out what I wanted to do for a summer job. I might have still been in high school or something, but I was the same place that I teach lessons now for tennis resort. I was younger then, and they had wanted me to like do the courts or something. And I might have been like, no, I have an idea. I'm gonna string rackets. Yeah. Like, I'll learn how to string, and I'll start an app where We'll get everyone will bring their racket. It was something I don't know, dude.
Crazy.
But I was like, this is it.
Yeah.
Like, this is it.
Wow.
But like, yeah.
Just seemed like a crazy idea now. But you had to run it down.
No, it's not a bad idea. It's just that's not my place.
Yeah,
I don't think
you weren't dreaming about that kind of stuff, were you?
Yeah, no.
But it's interesting, man. I feel like Elon Musk is somebody who has those kind of ideas and then just fucking does it. But you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
for
PayPal
sure.
was just like an email idea, you know what I mean? On the side of something that ended up fucking taking off, you know? SpaceX, like just a crazy idea when you already have a car company. Like think about
But I think wait, what's up?
Go ahead.
Well, no, I just think for you, like you want to be, you saying you want to be a DJ or something.
Yeah.
Like that's a impulsive thing to say.
Yeah.
But you probably don't have the time or the creative like creative like
mental
space to do that too.
You're absolutely right.
So it's not a good idea for you as an artist. I wouldn't think.
Yeah, so it's like either wake up in the morning at 8 a.m. and start making video content from the tour, or like sleep in because I have a DJ set from 8 to 2 a.m. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like go to band practice every night or go DJ. You know what I'm saying? Like I lose something. Exactly what you're saying. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But it's still somebody like, Jeff Vernon, like he does like everything, like a little bit of everything. Like he produces, engineers, writes songs, puts songs out, goes on the road with us, films things, takes pictures, you know, like some people just do it different. You know what I mean? Like some people would rather taste a little bit of everything and enjoy that, which I respect, you know what I mean? So, and
I think for certain things you can, just not for everything. Like classical music, you know, like I was saying, some people practice 10 hours a day.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Yeah, good for them. But if you're like, you know, I think if you're in a rock band, that definitely doesn't take 10 hours a day. So you have time to podcast and you still have time to do your videos, plan your tour, which is really cool because, you know, this promotes the band promotes this.
Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate that. It's really turned out to be a good like cross brand pollination, you know, because people come on the show. Like I literally just had this guy on who's his name's J-Rod. He's the like GM/CEO of 1785, who like I met a few times. We've had a few conversations. He comes on today, and now, you know, it goes so great. We feel like best friends, you know. He's like, maybe come play at the bar sometime. You know what I mean? Like it just kind of works out nicely for everybody. And like you're saying, I try to make it about me as little as possible on here, but I'm looking to change the show. Like you calling your show A Gen That Talks, I feel like is a genius idea of like not too pigeonholed. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I saw that you did. I didn't listen to it yet, but I saw that you had someone else interview you.
Yeah, it was Jeff Vernon did.
Okay, yeah. That's a good idea too, because I think it's annoying whenever, like I just did a second, you had an interesting idea that someone would probably want to hear because they come to the show more for you, way more than me.
Yeah.
But I interrupted you, and because I'm the guest, you have to say, "Let me talk." But
no, dude, no. I get what you mean though. It was great. You should. Well, I'm glad you could just come on here, man. I honestly forgot that I owed you an episode because we said we were going to trade back and forth.
Oh, you didn't owe me.
I did. Come on. But I just love talking to you, so I appreciate it. But yeah, like your template for the show being like a gen that talks, like a generation, like you can talk about anything, is great because mine has been and still is at the moment
music,
a little too pigeonholed into music. And I love music though, so you know it's like a back and forth. Like I'd say 85-90% of my audience is music people, so like I'm kind of back and forth on it. And I've done some research, and everything I read online says make your podcast as specialized as possible so your fan base knows what to expect. I'm like, fuck that shit. If I want to talk to somebody, like I'm just going to talk to them, you know?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. And because then you end up talking about, you know, you say you're a music podcast, but you'll get on here with a musician, talk about tell me about your new song for 10 minutes, and then you're talking about whatever it might be.
What they're wearing, you know, just anything.
Yeah, I had some stuff to ask you though.
Please do, man. I have some questions.
A lot of it was okay, cool, but I don't know if you ever listened to Lex Friedman's podcast. He's a AI researcher. Yeah, you should check him out. You'd like him a lot. He's really philosophical and stuff, and obviously really smart. He's an AI researcher at MIT, but really grounded with culture. Really like understands how people work and knows how to talk to anyone. Like he'll have on. You know, like a truck driver, and can talk to them just as much as he could a Nobel Prize winner. Yeah. So, but he started doing this kind of. He'll ask really, really big questions like, "What's the meaning of life?" or what stuff like that. And I thought it was cool. Yeah. So
that's awesome.
what do you think, or we kind of talked about this, but what do you think makes you happy?
What do I think makes me happy?
What makes you happy, and what makes most individuals happy? Like what fundamental ideas do they need?
That's a great question, dude. God, that's a thinker. I love that.
Don't just say the hierarchy of needs.
I don't know it.
Oh,
is that from this book? Is it from?
No, it's not from that.
Is it Atomic Habits?
No, that's like an old psychological idea, I think, but it's probably...
I know what you're talking about, though. I've heard of that. I'd say, for me, personally, it's like chasing what I want to do. Well, there's so much that goes into it, but I'd say for me, at the moment, it's like being completely enthralled in what I want to do, which is play music, which is podcast for a living / play music, you know? So when I can wake up every morning and I have like a ton of videos from the past tour weekend to work on, and I've got 3 shows coming up this weekend, and I've got 4 podcasts this week, and I've got shit to do that I love like that, I'm so happy.
Mm-hmm.
Whilst in combination of like my family's healthy, I have great friends, I'm able to do that. Does that answer that okay?
For sure.
You think so?
I think we're really similar too, but
I've got to have a goal. I'd probably
say the same.
You know what I mean?
The goal, yeah.
You've got to have something that you're going after personally. At least I do. Because like people like my dad, I love my dad, but like I don't think he ever really found that for himself. Like he's kind of just like floating around and like had kids and like, you know, like just like floating around and like not having his purpose.
He's on the rock.
Yeah. Pretty much.
On the round rock.
Yes. It's easy to get stuck there too, man. You know what I mean? So as long as I have something that I'm chasing, and it's felt like this my whole life, dude. Like when I was in high school, like I was obsessed with hunting, dude. I used to hunt a lot. I go duck hunting and deer hunting and shit. And like when I'm into something, like it was all I'd think about. You know what I mean? Like I was taking fucking magazines to school and reading them and shit all day.
Yeah.
So like I've got to be enthralled with something to be really happy. And I think for anybody that's not into fitness, I think fitness, like going to the gym and any kind of working out, humongous, bro. Can't be understated.
If you're Oh wait, sorry.
No, you go ahead. I want to hear it.
No,
you go.
You go. I literally interrupted you. I thought you were.
All right. What you were saying, well, pretty much like anybody who's like, it's so easy to write it off. It's like, oh, no, I don't need to go to the gym. I'm gonna enjoy this food, or I'm gonna just do what I want. Like you don't realize that like your mindset is gonna fucking alter when you start going to the gym. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like it changes the game for like motivation, inspiration, feeling good. Like your body actually feeling good is amazing. So
yeah.
Would you agree?
Yeah, I think for sure. I think too. Anytime I've ever been, you know, this is really good for a human, but probably 1 or 2 down days a month. You know, where probably a depressed person, you know, every day. But I think if someone has mental health issues, I think and they're not obviously severe and don't, you know, some people need medication and stuff, but a lot of people probably have mental health issue that could be quickly cured if they exercise rigorously. Yeah. Because I notice in myself, like I feel like I used to struggle with anxiety, like not bad, not that I need to be medicated or anything, but always if I wouldn't be exercising a lot. Yeah. And I think if I'm exercising, like playing tennis a few days a week and then weights the other days, like I don't really... And I'm enthralled with something, but if it's a combination, like if I'm not exercising and then like if I was just doing the business school and hated it and had no goal, then I'd really would spiral. And I kind of noticed that in myself. It wasn't bad or anything, but it was just like this unhappiness where now I have that daily satisfaction.
Purpose and like release kind of. Yeah. I could agree with you more, man. Like I would love to see the stats on like how many depressed people are like
don't exercise.
Yeah, like clinically depressed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would love to see that because I feel like there's a connection there. You know, like our bodies are wired. Jordan Peterson talks about this a lot. Like we have to have a goal. Like Indians, the goal was to eat and survive. You know what I mean? Like we are wired to have a goal. You know what I'm saying?
You said just Indians.
Yeah, you know what I mean. You know what I mean?
One, like everyone.
But Indians was my example specifically. Oh my God, you lost.
That's like.
I use Indians too much. But anyways, you know what I mean? Like,
are you talking about like Native Americans?
Yeah, that's what I meant. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Well, no,
like
you said
somebody in the 1800s.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean? That'd have been a better like what do you call it? Anglo-Saxons or something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Their goal every day is to wake up and eat. You know what I'm saying?
Everyone's goal.
But we don't have to think about it.
Yeah. I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
Any like, not any like, not way back when, but any at one point, every single human on Earth was a hunter gatherer.
Yes, that's what I mean.
So yeah, that's our innate goal.
So when we get to where we are now, where me and you, we can wake up and go to the fridge. We don't have to go hunt every day.
Yeah.
Our main goal is gone, and some people float around in that, as in like never picking up a new goal to chase.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get what I mean by that?
Oh yeah, we evolved to have a goal.
Indians, bro.
And then you get that satisfaction. Say you hunt something really big, you come back with this big bison. You're gonna be so celebrated by your village or whatever it is, and then. But then eventually going to come back down because you got to go out and do it again because you have to eat again. And that's with us now. Like you could play the biggest rock show ever, but then you're going to come back down. Yeah, and then you have to go back and get it again.
See what I mean by that? That makes sense. I feel like I explained it poorly, but you get what I'm saying.
No, I was just messing with you. I get what you're saying.
That was funny. Well, like it's just interesting, man, because some people never find a new goal. Do you know what I'm saying? Like some people just like, no disrespect, like they'll just like smoke pot all day or like drink all the time or like I don't know what else, just like never find it.
Yeah.
It's interesting to me.
Yeah, and I feel like too it's like I'm really grateful to my parents. I don't even know if they understand, but how grateful I wasn't as I was before, but not near as much now that I'm really actually doing what I want to do, and they're still supporting me. Because I mean, a lot of kids' parents, man, if you say I'm changing my major from business to music junior year of college, they'd be like,
"Fuck,
sorry."
Man. Yeah, you're not.
Yeah, but mine actually wanted me to. The whole reason they wanted me to go to college so I could actually do something I want to do and get a job I actually like, not just
float around.
I mean, because if they didn't care, I mean, why would they? I mean,
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, dude. And parents, that's another thing that's like extremely underrated, I guess. Like every now and again, I find myself like, man, why is my buddy like this? Like. He's not doing shit. Like he's just fucking dicking off. It's like, man, maybe he has some shit going on. His parents didn't support him like mine did. Or maybe they didn't get that approval, or maybe their pops rolled out early. You know what I mean? And like they didn't have any sort of guiding source. So I'm trying to have more lenience on that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I don't really realize how fortunate I am, especially my brothers. How even my brothers who are way smarter than me. They're lawyers, and even them two. If we would have been born somewhere else with, say like a single mom with a low IQ who worked at, Dollar General or whatever and barely could put food on table. They wouldn't have ended up as lawyers no matter how smart they are probably. True. And I wouldn't have been at Georgia studying music for sure.
Yeah, we've all got it made, man.
It's insane. Yeah, I'm so lucky and I feel really blessed. Really now every day I think about how lucky I feel.
Love to hear that, man. That's perspective, you know what I mean?
I'm sure you do too. Like your parents.
So lucky, man.
I'm sure they helped you out a lot.
My mom, she has been the homie since day one. She's probably my best friend still, you know what I mean? So that's pretty rare. And like never, like I could tell her tomorrow that I wanted to quit music and become an ice skater. She'd be like, let's go get some skates. You know what I mean? Like she's just a homie.
I love that. Yeah, my parents are the same way. And I feel like they were a lot of kids' parents, especially me at this point, they would have been like, oh my gosh, like he started the band. He quit the band. He started a podcast. He quit doing that. But they really wanted me to find what I actually want to do. It's not that I don't look at it like I started a bunch of stuff and quit it. Like I explored things, and I like that they really understood that and support me in what I'm doing now, because it really took all that to help find what I want to do. And I love your mom. If you said I want to be an ice skater, I'm sure she probably would. I met her at one of your shows.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Like she would.
Great. What was I going to say off that? I was going to say, like you say that. Yeah, you shouldn't look at them as failures. Like you're saying, you just explored it, and it gets you to the next thing, man. Like you playing in that rock band, starting the podcast a little bit, going to school for business, all got you to playing classical guitar, which you love.
It did, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like it's easy to be like, oh man, I quit everything I do. Like, oh, I started that business and never did it. And like to an extent, you got to kind of hold yourself to it. But like you're saying, if it gets you exploring an idea, I think that's worth it.
Yeah, and I was this close to just sticking with it, and then end up doing real estate or something, which I know I wouldn't have enjoyed. Yeah. And a lot of people, if I wouldn't have had the support of my parents, I probably would have done that, just because I would have been like, well, I'll be 22 next year. They're not going to keep helping me out. I don't know what else. I can't pay for this myself,
Absolutely, dude. I know exactly what you mean. I think about it a lot too, because like if we just had different parents, this is a different story we're talking about. Maybe I wouldn't be sitting here in this fucking awesome city, being supported financially for school. Like I probably wouldn't have came to University of Georgia if I had to
Yeah, because me and you are UNG boys.
Yeah,
we
don't transferred.
Have the Zell Miller like our friends.
We'd have been graduating from there too. You know what I mean? I'd have been able to pull that out. But like,
we would have been Nighthawks for life.
For sure, bro. And what was I gonna say about that? I was gonna say like I don't know if it's fair for me to talk about like parenthood, but like I feel like a lot of parents take the wrong direction. Like I've never really understood the whole like, I hate to say dickhead parent move, but like the like, oh, I've got to be tough on him so he's fucking strong. Like, you know, do you get what I mean by that? Like,
yeah, there's definitely a point, an extent. Like, I think you see it so many times. Over discipline makes a kid just rebel. It seems like a pretty easy formula.
Seems pretty.
But then if they
simple.
Just don't care, then
that's
could
worse.
Also go the other way.
Exactly. I just think that if your kid's not like your best friend or like your homie, like if you can't talk to your kid at the end of 21 years of being alive, like I think something went wrong in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
Then again, I've never had kids, so I don't know how that might probably way harder than I make it sound, And like I just don't get the whole like I see a lot of parents just like straight up being like just hostile towards their kids, for life. It's like, wow, what went wrong there, You ever think about that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I think
a little bit.
I see that. I've seen that a lot.
Yeah.
With people I grew up with too, and a lot of it is just, they're really stressed out. They're just trying to put food on the table.
Yeah.
They don't have time for
long talks on the beach.
Yeah, and if the kid comes home and he's 12 and says I want to be an ice skater and he's already tried 2 other things, they might not be like, well,
it's like shut up, son.
But I like to my parents never. Sometimes I wish, like I'd look back and I'm like, oh, I wish y'all would have made me start something at a young age because my oldest brother plays classical piano, the other one plays drums, and but I don't think they ever had to make them. And they didn't want to make me play an instrument, like do something I didn't want to do. And they didn't. I tried. They were like, I didn't make a travel basketball team in 8th grade, and then I was kind of bummed out. And then they were like, all right, we're gonna get you tennis lessons. And I don't even know. I think just because my dad's friend played tennis and he said you should try tennis, and then so I started playing tennis and like day one, never wanted to stop playing, and fell in love with it. So they never had to make me. But then it's weird with guitar. I started on my own. Like no one made me do it. There was this guitar sitting there and I started playing, and now that's what I want to be my job. So it's really funny how
not making the travel ball team is like the best thing that could have happened to you for some things, for example. Like you finding tennis.
And they never made me do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Like could you imagine like your dad's like a famous musician, he like you just grow up like being forced to like play something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The pressure that would suck kind of. But at the same time, like if you don't force your kids to do something, they might end up, like I'm saying, just like sitting around, just like floating around in the world.
I think too, if they, like, for example, like say you're in 5th grade and you're playing soccer, and or like I played football in 3rd grade. Hated football, still don't really like it that much. I like watching the dogs, but that's pretty much it. But I didn't like it, but I finished the season out. The one season I played at least, because it's like, you started it. You don't have to play this forever. Just finish this. Yeah. And then now I kind of had that mentality because that's what it, like then I was certain I did not like that. Yeah. Don't want anything to do with that. But like I wasn't like I quit. I played for a season. I finished season, but I'm not going to do that again. Yeah. Same with like.
Now
whatever. Yeah. Like podcasts. Like I did that for a year.
27 episodes, 28?
Yeah, somewhere in there. And it's like, okay, well, I can't do that all the time. I need to focus on this.
I think more people need to be like you, man. Like, just go out and taste some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think like Joe's always saying that, like, just go taste some shit. Like, fucking, you never know, man. Yeah. Buy that DJ board, never use it. Or buy it and use it and maybe fall in love with it. Or, you know what I mean? Or go play tennis once.
Or be like, I'm going to do 10 DJ gigs.
Yeah.
And I have this board. If I don't like it, then I'll stop doing it. Yeah. Something like that. Or I'm going to do 10 podcast episodes. That might be my favorite thing ever.
Yeah, dude. See, that's fascinating to me. And I think it sounds like you tasted enough stuff to where you found it, at least for the moment. And
for sure, yeah.
Who's to say that the 2 things we love right now are going to be the 2 things we love in 10 years? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the thought, man.
I would hope I'm still on the same track, but
me too.
Yeah, you never know.
Never know,
for
man.
Sure.
That's one thing about podcasting that I've come to really appreciate is everything you say kind of has a little bit of repercussions, like I'm pretty sure I remember looking back on, I think it's the first episode we did together at your place or maybe the second, and like I had listened back like maybe 4 or 5 months after. I was like, oh, don't mean that anymore. That was wrong. You know what I mean? Like, I was listening to stuff I was saying. I was like, oh, that was opinionated. Oh, I didn't know that. You know what I mean? Like, so maybe some of these aren't going to age too well, but like at the time, that was what we believed. Now we know. That's like why all this Joe Rogan stuff is bullshit. People pulling stuff from his episodes 20 fucking years ago. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to mean everything you've ever said, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think too, it's just, for me, you know, I think David Goggins had summed it up really well. He was like, should he have said that? You know, absolutely not.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember is he a bad guy? No, but it's funny because they're, whoever they is, you know, trying to pin him on the vaccine stuff.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, they couldn't bring him down for that. So it's like, how can we make him look like a bad guy?
Yeah.
You know, and I don't think at that time that was definitely acceptable to say among comedians. You know, even where now you wouldn't even quote that. And it's not acceptable. So I think,
times
would make him a bad guy.
Yeah. And it's like anybody who's ever seen one episode of his show knows what Joe's
his
about.
Heart.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
He is just looking for the truth. You know what I mean? Like all this shit they pull up. Like, I hate having to see him like on Instagram having to post an 8-minute video defending his claims of something or something he said, or you know what I mean? That's.
But I like that I hate when like the typical fan of from the outside, you know, the outside world, people. The view they have of a Joe Rogan fan, you know, like a redneck or something like that.
Brogans.
Like, those people kind of rip on him for these apology videos and stuff. But I think it shows that's a really good example. Like when you're, you know, he was in the wrong for using that word, and now he can he thinks that about himself, so he can acknowledge that and say, hey, that was not right of me to say that, and I saw that myself, and I was very
embarrassed. He said, I think,
I was embarrassed. And so it's like, why? Yeah, you want to apologize for things that you don't like. People are like, oh, he's like, he's a sellout for apologizing.
It kind of validates it when you apologize, sort of. But like, you listen to those things. But it's true. You should apologize for that. You shouldn't. They're so genuine though when you watch it. He's like, I'm embarrassed. Said this in a different time. This was taken out of context. You know, none of it seems like a scripted like. Like, you ever see the video of Travis Scott apologizing for Astroworld? You know what I'm talking about?
No, what did he say?
There was like the Astroworld thing where like 9 people got killed or something.
Oh, they got ran. Yeah.
And like it's like a known fact that like putting your hands on your face means you're kind of lying about something. And the video's like, man, I'm just broken up about this. Like, I just want to apologize for everything that's happening. It's like, it's awful. People were making fun of it. Like psychiatrists were breaking it down. Like, this is telltale signs of lying.
That's interesting.
But you watch Joe and it's just like real shit. Like, and anybody who's hating on it, I hate that it's turned into that. 'Cause like maybe 2 years ago even, it was so, I guess before the Spotify thing, it was so universally respected and like, it was still cool to watch him. And now it's like
if you, I started watching him when it was still kind of like cool, it was underground, like, or not underground, but it wasn't near as popular. You know, he started in like 2012. Like, I started in high school. No one really knew.
That's early.
Like, he wasn't a household name, and no one knew who he was. Yeah, I remember I was 16. I think I was at boarding school.
That's early, dude. Wow.
Yeah, I didn't really start getting. I would listen to some every now and then if you had someone on that I knew. But yeah, I was 16, and someone at my boarding school told me who he was. Yeah. And then I was like,
who's this guy?
But now, like, everyone's parents know who he is, and grandmas, and people who don't like comedy podcasts or MMA know who he is just from the news. Yeah, you know, they have it, but it's I saw someone post. I won't say who it is, but you know him. But he posted a meme on his story on Instagram of like, it was like thinking you're, know who it is. You know, it was like thinking you're open-minded, like listening or like blah blah blah, listening to the biggest podcast in the world. It's like, dude, it's like this guy promotes. Again, I don't want to sound like a Brogan, but it's like he promotes so much open conversations, which you don't really see in the world, and promotes like love. And you can say what you're about all the vaccine stuff. And I talked to one of my roommates about that, who doesn't really like him that much, and he said he thinks it's really irresponsible to you shouldn't platform someone who like you wouldn't have on the way he explained it, like, what does platforming actually mean? And it means you wouldn't have me on and say I was like a white supremacist or like a global warming denier or something like that, where it's like it's accepted that that's not an okay like beliefs, and science doesn't back that up, and then for you to just let me talk and then you're just kind of like, yeah, okay. Like that's like platform to have someone say I was, or I don't even want to say that, but yes, whatever. And then you combat my opinions that are so far, like that's okay.
Yeah.
But whenever he has someone on who's like anti-vaccine stuff like that, then he's just like, okay, yeah. Then he would say that that's platform and that's irresponsible. In the same way, you wouldn't do that if someone was like a racist person. You wouldn't just let them talk and be like, okay. You would combat them and say, okay, this is incorrect because this, and this. And but I think too, I struggle
where were
with
you
whether,
at on that one?
I struggle with whether it's irresponsible or not because he had on, he's not a scientist.
Yeah.
He's talking to a scientist.
Yeah.
And he's about, and the scientist says, this is what I think about the vaccines. Joe's not a scientist. He's not going to, he doesn't research. He can't.
Yeah, how could he?
And then, but he's had on just as many other people like Sanjay Gupta who's had 7 boosters.
Some from each side, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so it's like, and he would say the same thing to Sanjay Gupta, he'd just be like, okay, he takes what they say for a word because they're the scientists and they're the credibility.
Yeah.
So I don't know, what do you think?
It's a deep thought and probably a pretty solid argument for both sides, you know what I mean? But like at the same time, like I don't think it's his responsibility to like how can you fact check everything that someone says in a 3-hour conversation on the fly? When you're conversating with somebody downtown, do you fact check everything they say? You know what I mean?
No.
Like, even if it is going out of the world, like it's not his responsibility to like, no, that's wrong. You know what I mean? Like to be confrontal about it.
You shouldn't. And whenever it's because the way he started it, it was literally just 30 listeners, him turning on a mic and talking what he's curious about. But then now it's like, does he? It's just kind of to me, it's like on his conscience. Like if he feels conviction about it or whatever, then I don't know because I don't think that anyone should regulate what he. Like I like that Spotify upholds the free speech amendment and lets him. I don't think he should be censored for doing what he does. But
are any other podcasts getting censored? Do you know what I mean? Like, are they getting episodes taken down?
I'm sure
stuff?
for sure, but not. I mean, ones that are like inciting violence or things like that. Not.
It's a thought, man. I guess I don't really know enough about it to really have a 100% opinion. But like, my knee-jerk reaction is like, anybody who's watched the show knows that he's just looking for the truth. And like, I'd say for the most part, every chance I've seen for him to dispute something he does, unless it's just like somebody coming on like super strong about something, he's like, I don't want to turn this podcast into a 3-hour argument, and I don't blame him. Like, I have people come on and say stuff that's like, I don't agree with that, and I don't want to.
What would Dale Carnegie say?
Dude, but just let him talk.
Too, it's like people should be able to discern what's right and wrong. People shouldn't just hear something, especially like scientific, that's controversial, and just be like, like this guy said, like go look into it for yourself and read about it and then gather. Don't just be like, well, I heard it on Joe Rogan. That's not how people should.
So it feels like at the end of the day, it's still the listener's responsibility, right?
I think it's a listener's responsibility. Yeah. But I mean, you can't. I think when 11 million people are listening to it, I don't think you could say that.
I wonder how he feels about it. This is something I was thinking about this week because, like, I wonder if he feels like this Spotify deal was like the fucking worst thing he's ever done.
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so? Because like,
they're the only ones. Because YouTube would have taken them down. Or
really?
Yeah.
I guess I never really thought about it, but like, it seems like maybe he's just grown in popularity. But like in the YouTube era of the podcast, I don't remember like any fucking. Like,
no, dude, they would have. There's been, dude. YouTube would have taken those ones down.
Interesting.
Like for sure. Like any of the ones with the scientists that oppose the normal vaccine narrative would have been gone on YouTube. But Spotify keeps it because it's not.
Yeah, because he does both sides.
It's technically not breaking like a.
He had said that he toyed with the idea of a disclaimer at the start, which I think is a pretty good idea.
I think,
that kind of covers his ass on anything, right?
Because then you can say whatever.
Yeah. Misinformation.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know, dude. You're probably right. I guess he just wasn't as popular in the YouTube era. I don't remember hearing about any sort of, I don't remember him apologizing for anything really. And I don't blame him. I'd love the show, dude. I don't care what anybody says about it.
I like it a lot too. I hate how it's like not cool to like it. Because for me, it's just like
anything.
It's not like, I listened to it before it was cool, but it's like, I think he does a good job.
I'm a fan.
Promoting love to people.
Good vibes for the most part, man. And I think it's just one of those things. The more popular something gets, obviously the more criticism, and so I guess it's like very trendy to not like him now. You know what I mean?
It's like trendy to not like. It's like
it's trendy
before
to
no one cared about him. Now it's like the people who've never even listened to him are the ones that don't like him.
Yeah, maybe it's like everything, dude. Because think about it. Bands go through. This is a band comparison to podcasting. Band goes through that period in the start where nobody knows who the fuck they are. They say whatever they want. They have a good time. They do what they want. And then it gets to where they had this little cult following of like people that fucking love it. It starts getting there. Then they have a big fucking hit.
Then people are like, some people don't even know them. Like, they suck. Or whatever.
Yeah, it's like they're the worst. Like, please turn that Nickelback off. Please turn that Creed off. You know what I mean? It's like shit like that. So maybe it's just anything. But I love the show. I love the old episodes better just because he's getting a different kind of guest on these days, and I'm not as interested in him for the most part. Like, I wish he would do more musicians and stuff, But
I don't know. To me, I wasn't interested in a lot of those because
See, that's probably
unless
why.
It was like a musician
audience.
I really liked.
Yeah.
But because I love the ones with the comedians I like.
I love the comedian ones too. Yeah. But it seems like he's doing even less comedians, though. I feel like it's more scientists than anything now, right?
Which is cool. Yeah, I like that.
Which is his passion, right?
Yeah, I think it's cool. Like, he should follow what he's curious about. But yeah, dude, the ones with, like, I've listened to every episode with this comedian, Greg Fitzsimmons.
You told me to listen
from,
to this.
did I?
Yeah, I never checked it out, man.
Because I've listened to, like, 13 or 14. And then like all the ones with like Theo Von and like Andrew Schultz.
I love Theo Von and Andrew Schultz ones, man. Those are just masterpieces. Yeah. I love those. I like a lot of the MMA ones.
Yeah. No,
dude, they're like cultural references, dude. Like fucking Elon Musk is the one. The first Elon Musk one is going to be like in every 2000s documentary you're ever going to watch.
I was going to say,
you know what I mean?
I've thought about that before. That is in the history book for sure.
Like a cultural tipping point. You know what I mean? As weird as that sounds, and it's funny to listen to the old ones like. Like the first 300 where the video quality's shit and the audio quality's kind of sus. You know what I mean? It's just nice to see. It's nice to see somebody just fucking put their head down and just do something, man. And it's paid off for them. I love that. I listen to, I don't really like, you have Spotify, I guess?
Yeah.
I don't like how the ads are set up. Like, I have trouble skipping them sometimes, which is interesting.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, they'll just play another one. I'm like, God damn it. I'm not to go watch this shit on YouTube. But, fucking
they'll just keep them coming.
Yeah.
You try and skip.
Yeah,
it's like, no.
It's like another
it starts you over.
It's like CMD, CBD. And I'm like, fuck. You know what I mean? But that's how they're making their money. I wonder how much money they make off ad revenue and stuff. This has been my interest lately. I want to get fucking show sponsors bad, dude.
Yeah, I remember you saying that before.
I've been working on it since then. I work on it pretty lightly. Like, you can only work on that so hard. I don't want to hound people,
Yeah.
And like, I want to get the clout of the show high enough to where it benefits the business. But I've got people interested now and actually have ads running. But
I saw that.
Yeah. It's
I like how you do them. Or obviously, who else is going to do them for? But you read them all yourself.
I do. I try to make them as real as possible. I want them to be as unscripted as possible. And they're at the start. But I was reading something this week that says like the start is the worst spot to do it because you're asking somebody for something before you've given them any value. You know what I mean? So I think I'm about to start cutting them in the middle. I'll let you know. But the goal for me on this, like, I obviously love this shit and will keep doing it even if I'm not getting paid. But, like, my end game would be, like, making ad revenue, like, enough to where I can podcast 4 days a week and, like, make a living with music. You know what I mean? Like, I have to get to that point for me to be able to do it correctly. So, like, I'm really interested in getting sponsors and stuff. I think Southern Brewing is in the talks with me right now, which would be really cool.
That'd be awesome,
yeah. Do you have any thoughts on that? The ads, do the ads hurt you when you hear an ad? It's just like, I
know they got to do it.
Yeah.
Some people that do it. Sorry, I was looking at more questions.
No, keep looking, man.
Some people. I like the way like Theo Von does. Like I can listen to it and it'll crack me up.
Yeah, it'll transition in kind of.
Yeah, it's like Greg, the guy he does on his show. He starts off before every episode talking by himself for a really long time, and he'll mix the ads in with that, and it'll just kind of get on tangents, and then so that's an interesting way to do it.
Yeah, that is, man. I think people get creative with them and make them better,
Yeah.
But, trying to make it to where it's not like, I want to turn this, like skipping the ones that start a Rogan and they keep playing.
Yeah. CBD.
Yeah.
Have you ever?
What you got?
Have you ever loved someone?
Definitely. Like someone other than relative?
Yeah. Like not your mom?
Yeah, not my mom? Yeah, totally. How about you?
Yeah.
Yeah? What'd you think about it?
Well, It's going on now for the first time.
Really?
Which is pretty cool.
That's exciting.
But yeah,
man.
what? I don't know why I had.
No, that's a good one.
I had some other. That wasn't like the initial question, but
I guess I could just talk about it if you want to.
I think that's a fun thing to talk about.
I was dating this girl in high school, and dude, you know how the first high school date, or not the first, it wasn't a first girlfriend or anything, but it was like the first one where I was like, oh, this is serious.
It was like you really,
Yeah, like definitely fucking in love for a couple years, man. And, you know, everybody needs that one big breakup to, like, you know, fucking kick you back into gear, like being hung up on somebody for like fucking 6 to 8 months, you know, like being obsessed with them kind of like I am about the music, like just obsessed. And it taught me a lot of lessons, dude. I think everybody needs to do it. You know, you need to get out there a little more. If anything, looking back on my life, I probably should get out there a little more and date more people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I'm very, like, non-committal to, like, I don't just have, like, a ton of girlfriends, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, I don't meet a ton of girls I don't want to spend a lot of time with, if that makes sense. You feel like that ever? Like, you see people with, like, a girlfriend every other couple months. It's like, bro, like, I could never meet that many girls that I want to spend that much time with, you know? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I felt like that until, I have a girlfriend now. The first one that's been serious like ever, and
good for you, man.
It's cool. It's kind of like the same thing with the music stuff, you know. It's like a sacrifice to other things, but it's at the end it's worth it and brings the most satisfaction. And
how long have you been dating?
Only since like January 1st, but
that's a good.
It's pretty
man.
serious, and because we've known it, we were best friends for like 2.5 years.
Yeah. I think that's a good recipe for a start. You know what I mean? I think people miss the friends thing a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like,
for sure.
Like, not, you know what I'm saying? Like, going straight in is a little different than like knowing somebody that you really like as a person already.
Yeah, because I knew she's the type of person I'd want to see every day.
Yeah.
You know, even before, like, I literally had never had an interest in her that way, and then one day something changed.
Yeah, dude.
But
good for you, man.
It was really cool whenever one day, I'd been thinking a lot about how do you know if you love someone? Like, how do you really know? And one day at, I'd like to hear what you think about this too.
Yeah.
One day at dinner a few weeks ago, before I told her, because I didn't really know in my head, I kind of thought about it, but I was like, I don't know if I do or not.
Yeah.
But I was eating dinner and she was next to me, and I had tzatziki's, and I was eating a lot of it. And like more, like I was full, and I said, but I finished this box of the weekend pasta, and I was like, dang, I eat till I hurt myself. And she thought I said I want to hurt myself, and she got really concerned and stuff like that. And then I was like, no, I just said I eat, like I was kind of joking.
Yeah.
And then she's like, oh, I thought you said you want to hurt yourself. And then I was like, well, what would you have done if I would have said that to you like now? And she was like, I would have stayed up all night and you know, talked to you and stuff, and then would have gotten you, tried to get you help or figure out what's going on and stuff. And then after that, I was kind of like, dang, I know, like I really love her.
Yeah,
someone that would do that. It's really cool.
That's clarity.
And not like run from like, oh no, that's such a crazy thing to say. Like, this guy's so messed up. It was just like, no, like, let's figure this out. You know?
Yeah, dude. I think that's clarity, man. You know what I mean? Like, it's good to know that kind of shit. And I feel like you just kind of know when you know. But like, then again, like, anybody who's ever been in a serious relationship was like, there's problems, but we'll work it out. You know what I mean? I actually saw this video this week that was like, it's like a psychiatrist or something. He's like, honestly, what people do is they ignore like the red flags that starts relationships. You know what I'm saying? They're like, oh, we'll fix it one day. We'll fix that then. We'll fix that. He'll get a job. He'll do this. She'll do that. You know what I'm saying? And they like ignore all those red flags, and they end up fucking 4 years in, and something happens. You know, it's like, if you just paid attention to the start, you know. I don't know, though, man. I haven't dated a ton of girls, so I can't really give too much advice on this, but I love to hear that you're fucking feeling it, man.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, dude, it is cool, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a good feeling.
Well, I hope you can ride that shit out, dude. I'd say just keep your heads on, you know what I mean? Like, if you guys have been friends for years, though, I feel like that's always the recipe. I think people get married too quick, but then again, just their opinion, you know what I mean? Like, like, just fucking date somebody for years until you're sure. You know what I'm saying? What's the rush? You know what I'm saying?
There's no rush.
Yeah. So
I think when you know, you definitely know, but also it's like, I think too, society puts like or now that might be changing, but I think, you know, in the past, people used to get married, they know someone in 2 weeks.
Yeah. They met on a boat.
Yeah, and then like he had to go to war, but they got married anyway, so she goes to like Korea with him. And
my brother's been dating a girl, my older brother, he's 2 years older than me. He's been dating a girl for like 6 or 7 years now, and people are starting to whisper a lot more like,
that's a long time.
That's especially a long time.
I mean, how old are you, 24?
23.
Okay.
Yeah, and I guess he's 25 now. But people are starting to whisper a lot more like, oh, Jordan, when's she getting a ring? Stuff like that. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. Like, his life's not where he wants to be at yet, financially or whatever, or like he doesn't have his house set up or whatever, like what's the rush, man? Like what do you gain from it other than like the title, I suppose, and like half and things? Like I just wish there was no pressure on it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because
girls feel it the most, I'm sure, like you know, like they're missing out. You
can be definitely ready mentally, but like logistically, if things aren't where they should be, then it's like there's just wait.
Yeah. I feel like what is it they always say, your brain's not even fully developed until you're like
25.
25?
Or a guy, I think girls are.
Is it earlier?
Yeah.
But still, like think about getting married at 18, bro. It works out great for some people, but like just like think about the thoughts. I
can't even imagine that.
Yeah, think about the thoughts you had when you were 16 to 18. Just like
dude, it's like even like my grandpa, or he was my step grandpa, but he raised my dad. He married a like 13 or 14-year-old when he was 17 or 18.
Way back.
Isn't that? I mean, yeah, he died along like 2007. He was really old, but isn't that insane?
That is wild.
And that was like normal. Like even
That's kind of like the Rogan thing where like he gets in trouble for saying stuff. Like things have just changed. Like dating your cousin or whatever like 100 years ago wasn't wild. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just like fucking things age different. Like dating a girl, marrying a girl who's 12. Do you say she's 12 or 13?
She was 13 or really young.
Like absolutely preposterous now, like extremely accepted then. So I don't know, man.
Absolutely preposterous.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think about weird shit like that. Does that make sense?
No, yeah. I do too all the time.
It's like, damn, well that shit was pretty accepted back then. Like when our parents, I don't know how old your parents are, but my parents were in college, you could be 18 and drink. Isn't that wild?
Yeah, I think that should be that for sure.
I mean, yeah.
Because I think the American, when you look at like other countries like in Europe and stuff in South America, they're not as like people get to college here and they like binge drink and do dumb stuff and become out, or not like always, but I feel like when it's more ingrained in a society, then it's not such a big thing, and then they'll go crazy on it when they get that one hit of freedom.
It's like it's romanticized because you can't do it until you're 21.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like the whole weed becoming legal thing is gonna be okay. I mean, I'm not like a pot smoker or anything. I don't smoke very much ever, really. Every now and again kind of guy, you know what I'm saying? But like I feel like once that's not like so romanticized because it's illegal, like, in my opinion, that's gonna make things better for it. Because like I do believe that it has some pretty practical uses, from here and there. So I don't know. For
sure.
Yeah. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think more things should be legalized.
Yeah.
I was talking to someone the other day about stuff like that. Yeah, I think things like whether if you morally disagree with something doesn't mean it shouldn't be illegal, which is what a lot of politicians why a lot of things are illegal is because like whether it be the Bible or whatever says it's morally wrong.
Totally.
So legalistically it's also wrong, but I don't think that's always the case. Like gambling or prostitution, things like that. Mm-hmm. Like for prostitution, it'd probably be a lot safer for women and yeah, I mean, that's probably the biggest thing if it was legal. And just as many people would still probably do it. The same people that would do it if it's illegal.
Be protected, kind of? Is that what you mean?
Things like that. And it could be more regulated, better protection from like STDs and things like that.
Man, we're going to have to put a disclaimer at the start of this episode.
Yeah, don't listen to
But this is the thing, though. Like I said earlier, man, like everything we could say right now, like there's someone else on the other side of the world that thinks, no, the complete opposite of what we're thinking.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because like everything I've said has felt 100% correct to me, like true, I meant it. And like, you know what I'm saying? There's someone 1 mile that way that thinks everything we've said is just utter fucking blasphemy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. For sure.
Thought, man. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
That was a good one, though. Nice question. I don't think anybody's ever asked me that. That's nice.
I put two more that we could talk. Yeah. Do you believe in God?
I do believe in God, but maybe not the God that everybody thinks of. You know what I'm saying? Like I kind of have my own picture of him, and like it's not as like, I hate to say standardized as the Bible, but like I just have my own thoughts on it. You know what I mean? Like I've come to my own conclusions on some things about it. If that makes sense. I don't know how you feel about it, but like I feel like just going out, like I think the idea of church has been a little romanticized. This is just an opinion, of course. Like I think going into the woods and like sitting for an hour, like that's going to church. You know what I'm saying? Like just like praying or meditating or like anything where you're just like talking to somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think that it has to be as cookie cutter as like, you go every Sunday or you're a sinner, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
What do you think about it, man?
Yeah, I believe in God and have a relationship with God and stuff, but I think what you're talking about, which is something I struggle with so much, because it's really difficult for me to believe in God. Like, I have a lot of doubts, and especially
we all do every now and again.
Yeah, except like most science is like a fact, and things like, so a lot of that stuff causes me to struggle with things. But I think that a lot of my viewpoints have been or a lot of things that I have struggled with and wrestled with is because of the like Western culture. Yeah. And it's something my girlfriend's really passionate about, is how like our culture has really manipulated the Bible and turned Christianity into something that's not.
Absolutely.
So I've really, because it caused me to kind of like turn away from it for a while mentally without even kind of knowing. I just had this bad taste in my mouth towards it, and but when I looked at it, like, okay, what actually is this? Yeah. And what is it actually saying? And what is this actually supposed to do for me? Not what culture says it is, or things like that. Because like you said, going in the woods and meditating and praying, something that a lot of people, the Bible thumping people don't do, is actually, meditate and pray and figure things out.
Yeah, like you're saying, like I kind of wonder, I guess you said that your girlfriend was saying, I kind of wonder if the Bible that we have now is kind of like the commercialized pop song of a Bible, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, how can the book make it that long without getting a little dulled down, if that makes sense? You know what I'm saying?
I don't think it is, though, is the thing.
You don't think so?
I think when you really read it and understand it, and I think you said you like Jordan Peterson. He's not even a Christian, and or I think he's an atheist, and he really gets the Bible and really understands it and takes it.
He's done a ton of research on it, from what I've heard.
Yeah,
I've watched a few of those.
Yeah, when he explains the stories, he gets all the value out of it that you could, I think, and knows how to apply it to his life, which is what people don't do. They don't know the context of what it was actually saying, so then you don't know how to apply it to your life, and then at the end of the day, it might be just kind of pointless to even read. Yeah, if you don't really know what's going on and know how to apply it to your life.
It's pretty well put. Like I think that a lot of the lessons in there are not synthesis. I think the lessons in there are still on the right path, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah,
even if they may have gotten dulled down in the past couple 100 years, or altered by storytellers or something, or made more vanilla for English language or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like the sentiment is still there, and I still believe a lot of it. It's just like a few of the things. Like, have you ever read any of this stuff? Like, there's like this one book that like claims that like Jesus was just like a high vibe individual, like somebody who had reached a high enough frequency to like where they could heal people with their hands and shit. You ever heard any of this kind of stuff?
No, that's really interesting. Yeah.
I'm interested in it. Like, obviously you can never know what's true or not, but like I find it wild that like we say, for example, me and you believe in the Bible 100%, couldn't be more true to us, means everything, and then somebody in insert country name believes in Buddhism 100%, couldn't be more wrong, like couldn't be more right about it. And, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's why are they wrong?
I hate when people are so certain about what they believe when it's something that you can't prove for sure. Because I'll tell someone, I really don't know at the end of the day. Yeah. This is just what I choose to believe. Yeah. And I think a lot of people, especially here in the South, would, if they were born in a different country, would have been whatever.
I almost wonder if it's kind of like tasting things. Like, we should try to get a little bit of every religion to try to understand it. I almost wonder that, but I haven't.
Think people should. But my girlfriend had been going to the Mormon church at one of the nights and actually trying to understand what they're about. And it's really cool. Like, disagrees with a lot of things, but actually knows more how to converse with them, and really is starting to get what they think now versus like because if you talk to them, they'll give you a something that you like a different religion might want to hear. Yeah,
perspective.
Yeah, different perspective. But then when you kind of get inside of it, you can actually see what they think.
It's so interesting, man. Yeah, dude, it's definitely a deep thought. I think about it a lot, but like at the same time, I just all right, you hear yourself again?
Yeah.
All right, we had a little break there. Just to chillax for a minute. The volume might be different, but we'll just roll with it.
I think it's good.
I think it'll work. All right, I'm sorry. What were we talking about?
I don't remember, but anyway, I
think we're going off on church. or religion in general, which was interesting, dude, because I've never really talked about that on here, so that's cool.
Yeah.
I in the start of the show, I tried to avoid like religion and politics because I think they're kind of polarizing. But the more episodes I do, I'm like, the more stuff I want to talk about.
I kind of get drawn. Yeah, when I talk to someone, I kind of always end up getting drawn to talking about things like that because it's. I don't like subjects that are touchy. You know, it's like if I'm your friend, if I'm talking to you, it's like I want to be able to talk to you about anything. Yeah. You know, I don't want it to be like, oh, don't say this because he disagrees with you. Yeah. And that will create some hostility. Yeah. Like, that's stupid.
I don't think I've tried to avoid that, you know, like I don't want to I didn't create the show to get hostile with people, you know what I'm saying? Like,
but you should be able to talk to, we should be able to disagree.
Yeah.
And have a civil conversation. Because that's even what's interesting. If we just sit here and say, yeah, Jameson, you know everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like your take on, you know, it's like, that's not fun. It's fun when people push and pull a little bit.
Yeah. So it's like you got to thread that needle. And I don't think I've ever gotten any really arguments on here. Do you ever gotten any arguments?
I mean, not an argument, but like I would disagree.
Yeah. That's fair.
It would usually, I didn't like doing it with a lot of people too, because we all, like, I might say something kind of controversial and everyone would kind of like look at me.
Yeah.
Or they'd be like, oh, I'd ask someone something, they'd be like, oh, we don't want to talk. I don't know.
I feel that. At the same time, though, I'm interested in doing more group episodes just to get more people together that might not be. I don't know if you've heard any episodes the past couple, but I've been toying with this idea of doing the like open mic night for podcasting, which I haven't executed it yet.
Wait, tell me about this.
Okay, so the idea is super loose right now, but the plan that I have so far is to get 5 mics, 5 chairs in here, and maybe 4 if 4 flows better. And just have a sign-up sheet or like a list through the week where I can get 4 people that don't know each other or that are not, at least like not conversing.
Doing one a week or?
Doing probably one every 2 weeks, and like it have its own episode name, like Wacky Wednesday or some shit, you know what I mean? And like each person brings in 5 to 10 topics, and we just fucking start. Like they don't know each other. They know nothing about each other. They're purposely selected to be different than each other.
Oh, I see.
And like, yeah, like just get in here and hash out some new topics, like not music, like not the stuff I normally talk about. So I'm kind of stoked on this idea. I need to execute it though.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a really good idea. I had never, because I tried to think too about stuff. Because you know how it is. At a certain point in town, you run out of people to talk to. So so I was like, okay, what's some ideas to like do something a little different? I thought about doing like debates, but just with people. You know, they might not be an expert on the subject, but something they're passionate about and know enough about to talk. Just like, why do you disagree with this person about that? And stuff like that. I think that's great, though, to get people who are...
I appreciate that, man. I'm going to do it. I think the next episode maybe will be the one I do it. I'll have to shoot you an invite, get you in here for one, because, like...
Oh, yeah,
I feel like it's going to... Like, I'm trying to get, like... Let me just name some people that I would like to do it with. Like, you... Do you know Drew Young Thomas? You ever heard that name?
I don't.
He's a singer in town. I'd like to get you, Drew Young Thomas, my drummer Connor, and my buddy Kyle Fromm and Jeff Vernon in here. And just get 5 people that don't really know each other in here and just like talk about things. Everybody bring in some topics they're passionate about, and we just hack at it. You know what I mean? Doesn't that sound exciting?
Yeah.
Like kind of, sort of. Like it's kind of on the debate side of things per se, you know?
I think you should too get people, even people who go as far, but people who like look different.
Yeah, I can see that.
And then get them, see how like, well, this is like a stereotypical art student. I'm thinking of my roommate right now. Yeah. And this is like a Terry person who looks like this.
Yeah.
This is some like a fraternity person, stuff like that. And like get them and then see how people can have so much common ground when you don't even realize it.
And it would probably be a little more like argumentative, like we're talking, or like debate.
But that'd be cool. That would make it interesting. Great. Yeah, unless people just start throwing stuff at each other.
I wouldn't allow that, you know what I mean? We'd have to hold that back. I'd have to be like, yo, fucking calm down. Yeah. But like the point of it being to get
God is real.
Wrong. You know
they're just like, no, he's not. They start throwing stuff.
Oh man,
this pastor's in here.
Get a pastor and a sinner in here. Yeah, but you know what I mean. Like I feel like it'd just be a cool cultural stamp on like, hey, this is what college kids in Athens were thinking in 2022.
Yeah,
you know
dude, that's
real.
I always look at like an ECV that had this picture of college. Of Georgia. It was in like 2004, and I'm like, even when I was 4 years old, it's interesting to see what these kids are wearing, and I wonder what they were like talking about and stuff.
Yeah, dude, and shit, when was the podcast format created? What year do you think?
It was like 2006 with the Podfather, or I don't know, 2005.
So it was just about to happen, kind of. Like, there's no podcast evidence from the 90s, from the 80s, from the 70s. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no long form except for interviews on MTV or like interviews for whatever, you know?
Yeah.
Like, there's really very little evidence. I guess that's not fair to say. There's probably a ton of it, you know what I mean? But like, there's no centralized podcast. If that does that make sense?
Yeah,
what I'm trying to say?
What you're saying. Yeah.
So like, we can't go back and listen to 2004 and listen to 4 college kids and what they thought.
I think that's what's cool. Yeah, for sure. And even interviews back then, you know, if it was on like a network news, they're not just gonna be joking around. Like, it's just so cool to hear Elon Musk talk about memes. Like, that's just funny, and it's cool to, you know, like where Einstein, or I mean, you know, people know from his journal stuff like that, but you know, you really, to hear someone converse, you know, it's just so cool,
or not deeply, you know, 'cause some episodes don't get
just
deep.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Elon Musk talking about memes, like, that's just cool, and that'll be cool in 100 years to hear this guy talk about what was culturally funny at the time.
What do you think about the idea could make it better? I guess this is where I'm at on it right now.
This show?
Yeah, like that idea of having 4 people from 4 different walks of life come on here and hash it up for like a random Wednesday episode.
I think you should try it. I don't know if it would go. Maybe it wouldn't go like you think it would. Maybe it would be boring.
Yeah, it might
maybe it'd be like the coolest
nothing.
thing ever.
Yeah, you're probably right. I guess like I was saying earlier, just taste things.
Just
I need to just do it. I've been kind of beating around the bush on it, like trying to find a cool name for it, find the right 5 people.
I think
or whatever.
You should try really hard to get them really different people.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the key of how well it goes is the people. I mean, obviously, right?
Yeah.
So, interesting.
What's up?
Go ahead.
No, you guys. I
was gonna say I wonder about the sign up sheet, because like that kind of takes it out of my hands, you know, and I don't want like 4 fraternity guys to sign up and be like, oh, this isn't really a Wacky Wednesday episode. This is just like 4 dudes that would have talked. Yeah. This is like, we would have talked about this anyways, you know? Like, yeah, we love drinking beers and stuff. Cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? And like, and same thing on the vice versa, like 4 art students or 4 media students, you know? Like, so I guess I need to just curate a list of people that would be down for it. And it is kind of tough to get 4 people in a room together at the same time on the same day.
Yeah. But that's the sign up sheet. Or at least you could, you know, hopefully you get 12 people to sign up. You look at it and be like, okay, this person's maybe stalk their Instagram and be like, this person's different, this person's different.
And I like the idea of it being a set time every week, like 8 p.m. on Wednesday are these kind of episodes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, everybody just be ready on Wednesday. We're getting in here. So, dude, if you have any interest in that, you should come join me or guest host or something.
Or bring a friend or something.
Yeah, if you get some time between playing guitar, that'd be great. And any ideas you have for people would be great. But yeah, I even forget what the question was that got us on this. I'm just excited about that.
Yeah. What do you think is the meaning of life?
Was that the question?
No. This is
a new question?
Yeah.
The meaning of life, man, probably just being happy. Probably just finding what makes you happy. I know that's like a boring answer, I suppose, but like, I guess the meaning of life at the end of the day is having happiness, right? Like, it has no meaning if you're unhappy the whole life, in my opinion. And maybe it's being happy with people you like or people you love, you know, like.
What if you're just happy sitting in, or sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but what if you're just happy like sitting in a room doing heroin all day?
There's a good moral question for me.
Because that would make, I mean, some people would be really happy with that.
Wow, that's a great one. I mean, maybe some people are just on their earth to do that. You know what I mean? Like, I guess the problem that I have is like maybe I try to force people too much to like do more. Like, I think you should be doing more. You know what I'm saying? And like, if they don't want to do it, they're not going to do it. Like, to an extent, some people are just here to, like you say, sit in a room, do heroin, or.
I don't think people are made for that. Or I don't even think, even if you don't. Believe in people are like made. I don't think anyone is like.
Probably not designed for that, but like, there's some people that could do that their whole life and have no problem with it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
So like, the world probably wouldn't work if everybody was just motivated as fuck killing it out there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if everybody was just like wired up the same motivation as everybody, it's just something about that wouldn't work. There's gotta be downs and ups. True. People floating around. You know, I don't know if you believe in different lifetimes or shit, but maybe somebody worked really hard their last lifetime and they're just dicking off on this one. You know what I mean?
Chilling. Yeah.
It's just a thought, man.
I think too that a lot of times the way I am, I'm like, oh, everyone needs to have something they're really passionate about or some art to express themselves. Like my girlfriend is trying to she'll start working as a nurse next year. But, you know, really the only thing she's hobbies, she has like just like working out and stuff like that, which is really, that's a great one. But yeah, it's like, for me, I'm like, you should do something where you can really express yourself, like emotionally. So I try to teach her how to play piano, and she really likes it.
Yeah.
But I'm like, does everyone need, like, some people are just, she's gonna be a nurse. That's great. Yeah. You just like helping people in their off days. You can do whatever. You can work out, go read.
Yeah, like everybody doesn't have to be a super motivated Elon Musk. You know what I'm saying? Which is totally okay. And like I look back on some things I've said in the past on the show, like, man, every band should have a podcast. Or
I've heard you say it before. I'm like, you don't need it.
I know, bro.
I'm like, they don't have to.
I know exactly what you're saying. I felt the repercussions of that one because I look back on saying that and I think it's dumb, I'm
like, I don't want to hear what Julian has to say about anything.
Julian's going to be pissed you said that, bro. No, I
would actually. He's actually one for you could have him on. I didn't listen to the new one yet, but I'm going to. But I could hear them talk.
Dude, I feel like Everyday Dogs podcast would be sick.
They're actually two people who it would be cool.
There's very few bands that I think it's not. Actually, I think I'm going to stand by that one. I think it's still a good idea for every band to have a podcast, man. Because like, you know what I'm saying? It kind of what it's done for me is like, maybe you didn't know me that well, maybe you didn't know the band that well, but after this, you might be more of a fan of me, therefore the band.
Yeah, I see. It wouldn't be good for. Dude, if there was as many podcasts as bands, though.
Yeah. Oh, fuck.
That'd be too terrible. Like, that'd be a little.
Yeah. So, I forget what was the question? I'm sorry. Meaning of life. And why was I talking about podcasting? I think I had a point on that.
I'm sorry. I cut you. Or you?
No. You don't ever have to apologize for that. Gosh, I had somewhere I was going with that one.
Wait, no. I cut you off whenever you were saying. Was it just some, like, I was like, does everyone have to have this expression?
That's true.
Or wait, no, I said this. What if you? Okay, I cut you off for good reason. Because you said the meaning could be being happy, and I said, well, what if being happy is just doing heroin?
Yeah, see, that's what did they call that? Like a cultural issue. I don't know, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure there's some people that are just gonna like go and like just drink like hard every weekend and go to work Monday through Friday, and they're gonna be pretty stoked about their life. You know what I mean?
Are they though? I mean, maybe some people.
To an extent.
If you liked your job,
yes,
and you really like going out, but some people, if you hate your job and drinking
like
on the weekend,
yeah,
is what you look forward to the most. I don't think that's.
It makes me sad, dude, when I hit people up and they're like, I'm like, how's it going, man? He's like, just working. I'm like, how you like it? He's like, fucking hate it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's like, damn, man. Like,
I don't think being busy and stuff like that that's great if you're like me right now. Like, I'm really busy, but I love it. And you too, like, you're busy and you love it. But if you're like, you work a job for 40 or 50 hours a week and you hate it.
Yeah, and then you take your little bitty time off and like just, like you only have little, like it's like you're selling your time, of course, which you have to, to pay the bills and stuff. And I completely understand that. And I need to work more, honestly, on that kind of stuff. So like, I just wish people could find something they love. I wish everybody could,
Yeah.
Yeah, but it probably won't happen, of course. Some people just got bills to pay. Maybe their parental situation isn't the same. They got $600 rent due on Friday. They don't have time to fucking sit around, do podcasts, make videos, and go on tour and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then not that that's a dream for everybody. You know what I mean? Maybe they don't have time to be a vet or be a lawyer or be a doctor. You know what I'm saying? So we should just be grateful that we do. Maybe not look too hard at like, is that okay? I probably should be less judgmental as a whole. I think everybody probably should. Because like, say you ride past someone that's just like looks like they're methed out or something. It's like, man, why are people like that? Like, just go get a job like the rest of us. Like, maybe they had something else going on, but also to an extent, like, there's somewhat no excuse for like just doing nothing.
Well, I get your saying, but you could have like some mental illness that like you literally
there's always something.
And you're poor, and like then for some no one was there to help you, then you wind up on the street. Yeah, and there's no one, stuff like that.
Everything
or, like,
we've said on here,
a
dude.
Veteran and.
Yeah, now you're
like
just
you have they sent you to like Iraq and a bomb blew up in your face, and then you
got some shock
you can't
trauma.
go to work, and yeah.
Everything we say on here, dude, anything we've ever said in any podcast can be refuted. You know what I'm saying? Or refunded. You know what I'm saying? Like, there could be an opposite opinion on it. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, and I like to play devil's advocate too. So.
Yeah, dude. I like it though, man. Fucking some good questions. I appreciate them. It's definitely stuff I've never talked about on here, which is rare, which is like exactly where I'm trying to go with this show. Is like, I can't do the music thing forever, dude. I love music. I fucking love talking to bands. I think that me talking to smaller bands is going to kind of start to fizzle out more because, like, it's kind of a waste of my time to have somebody on that's not grinding, if that makes sense.
Yeah, they're just like, we played at a fraternity party. 2 times.
Yeah, like, and I've had the most of the time when those slip through is because they're my homies and like I enjoy their presence. Like that's always okay, and I'm always gonna want to talk to people. But like it's got to get to the point to where like Joe Rogan doesn't just keep having on people that are like not grinding. You know what I'm saying? Like he has on respected people because the show expects the audience, like the quality to be good. Like I can't just keep doing local bands that have only played one show. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It eventually has to get to where I'm doing touring bands, when I'm having I want to have athletes on. I know you've done Jack. I think that's really cool. And like I want to have, like I had a business owner on today. Like it's got to get bigger. Does that make sense? You know what I'm saying?
I think because right now your audience is probably the niche, like
super
Athens
niche
music people. But then, you saw like someone from, like I started listening to all the podcasts I listened to because I saw them somewhere else, or because they had on someone that I liked.
Yeah.
And because if they would have, like say, like Lex Friedman say he only talked to AI scientists, probably would have never found him.
Yeah.
But, he talks to comedians and stuff, and my, Mark Norman goes on the show. I'm going to listen to that or stuff like that.
And each person you bring on the show has their own audience, which is great. It's like a win-win for everybody that'll check you out that's never heard of the show. And I'm just swamped right now with requests of people trying to get on that have never read this book. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't understand that, like them saying, hey man, we're playing Wednesday here, dude. We'd love to come on the show to promote it. Like that whole statement right there does absolutely nothing for
They're like,
me,
how can
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
And not that it's all about me. I've always made the goal of the show to have the guest talk, but like at the end of the day,
but you're trying to do something.
Yeah, offer me some value too. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so that's fair, I think.
Some yin and yang.
Yeah, like at least be like, I'm a fan of the show. I've been listening.
Yeah, don't feel like we're playing 1785 Wednesday.
You would be amazed at how many I'd say fucking 70% of people that hit me up. That's the pitch. It's like, hey man, we're dropping a song on Friday. Can we come in on Wednesday and do a podcast because we really need to promote the song?
Don't even know who you are. Yeah.
Never met. Like just straight DM, and I respect it, and I'm glad the show has gotten to that point and snowballed now. I'm so grateful that people love it, want to be on, but like, please don't hit me up like that. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and then too, like I would, if I didn't know you, like I wouldn't have texted you just, hey, I have thoughts. Because why would anyone want to? Why does anyone care what I think about whatever?
Yeah.
But me and you, like I like to talk to you.
Yeah,
we're good friends, and I feel like we always have a good time together. But if I didn't even know someone, I wouldn't be like, hey, let me come on, turn on the mics.
Yeah, it's weird, and you're right, because I knew the second you were coming on that I didn't have to prepare anything because we were homies, and that this shit would flow like just fine if I came in with nothing on, which is great because I think it's gone great so far. We're 90 or fucking 75 minutes in or something, but like you're saying, I don't want to go off on this too much. I don't want local bands to think I'm hating on them, but like, it's got to get to a point where I'm like interviewing like people that are grinding, like fucking Jason Isabel and REM.
Yeah, I was
gonna
say, if you're not John Mayer, don't bother hitting.
You know what I mean, though, man.
Like,
there's gonna have to be a new threshold of like, okay, this band is headlined 40 Watt Club, or they're playing every weekend, or they've got music out, or this is an entrepreneur in town. I really want to do more stuff, which is I took from you, man. Agenda Talks. You guys. Just the name of the show leaves it wide enough to where you guys could do anything, and you guys had everybody on, wide array, right?
Yeah.
With the centralized music, kind of, wouldn't you say the most music episodes?
It was that, but the main goal was just to talk. Like a lot of times I wouldn't, or I did this, but I didn't like doing it. Like just being like, tell me about your new song, blah, blah, blah. Like I'd rather just like, they are a musician, but let's talk about you. Yeah. Tell me your story, and like, we can talk about whatever.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. Like I'd rather hear Julian and Jesse tell funny stories than talk about like the instrumentation in a song. Because like for me it's like some people would love that, but to me like I just don't really care that much. I'd rather hear them because I think they're funny and I'm fans of them, not just the band. So I want to hear them be funny and stuff. And you, like, I'm a fan of you.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that.
So I like to, even if I don't even know necessarily who the guest is, always it's still fun to listen to because like I'm a fan of you and I like to hear your takes on things.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I hope I can give you some more takes, man, because stuff like this is like opening the doors for the show. I don't know if you know it, but like I've said a few times, like we've never talked about some of this stuff on there, and like this is the exact direction I'm trying to go. More conversations like this. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You've heard the episodes. I have a formula that I'm using, which is origin story, singles, what shows you playing, you know what I'm saying? And then it leads into the later part of the episode, which is like talking about their personalities and their life. Like we get to where I want to be, and I'm so happy with all the episodes I've done. But like this is more what I want to do.
Yeah, starting with like the random stuff, you know.
Maybe
like if they really
want
to promote something, like they can promote it. But
yeah,
you know.
It's interesting though, dude. I'm glad you're a smart guy, dude. You seem, I don't know if this is fair to say, but from the last 3 I've done, you seem a little more well versed these days, man. Like you're thinking a lot clearer.
Oh, really?
Is that fair to say? Maybe it was because you were hosting the past 2 and you had to ask me questions. But like, I feel like your thoughts are like flowing smoother, and you seem to have a lot of clarity right now, man.
Maybe because I haven't talked in a mic in so long.
Yeah, it feels good. Did you miss it?
Dude, I love doing it. I think
there's got to be a way for you to make time for it, man. Come on. Is it possible?
Oh, no, I have the time. It's just like kind of like I said, the mental space and things like that.
What would you think about maybe like turning yours into just the audio episode like we talked earlier? Because like right now, I'm printing this, you know what I mean? Like this is about to be printed, and I can upload it right now. Like that would save you a couple hours of video editing. Like would that change the game for you or no?
No, I've been thinking about that. Because one of my roommates had encouraged me to do it, but yeah, I'll let you know.
Word, man.
You know.
I'm just curious, man. I think you're good at it. So just if you ever thought about dusting it off,
yeah, you kind of inspired me to do it.
I'm glad, dude. You're one of my fondest students because I've had a few people start them now. You know what I mean? And every time somebody starts one, I'm like, fuck yes.
Yeah, it's cool.
I'm like, go listen to that one where I said every band should have a podcast.
Yeah.
But dude, yes, I'm glad, man. Do you have anything else you want to talk about? I feel like I need to ask you some questions because you got me some heaters, bro. You asked me some good ones.
Hit me with one more.
One more question?
Yeah.
Where would you like to be next year? No, that's a basic question. I'll give you 2 more.
Okay.
Yeah, what would you like to be doing this time next year? I feel like this is always a fair question for anyone.
Exactly the same thing.
Exactly the same thing.
Studying music and playing a lot.
Any aspirations to play live classical? Not really?
Yeah, I'd been thinking about that with a buddy the other day, and because it's hard because the opportunity is way less than
rock band kind of stuff.
Yeah, but we were even looking at just doing going to an open mic at Hendershots. Not even much, just for yourself, and it's really easy to struggle performing that stuff. Where I never had any problem singing in front of people like rock music, but to play the minute even just one person playing something on classical, for someone gets nervous. So I try to even just my friends creates that pressure.
I think that'd be good for you, man. Hendershots is very welcoming.
I looked at it the other day. It's booked up through like June.
Damn.
But they let you book it up so far, but right now it's not really like a driving factor for me. As long as I get to, it's important to practice in front of people, not just play by yourself all the time.
Gotcha.
But as long as I have some people to play for, that's good practice, you know.
Word, man. What do you think what would make you feel successful with that? Like, what would it take for you to feel like I did it? You know what I'm saying? Would it be playing in a concert hall? Would it be like in 20 years feeling like you're a virtuoso? Would it be like in 10 years? You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I don't.
Never thought about it?
I have thought about that. Like, what does it take for me to feel successful? And I feel like I try to focus on each day. What makes me feel successful today? And that's like if I practice 5 hours and was focused.
That's a long time.
Yeah, stuff like that. Then it's like, okay, today, like I
Yeah.
But
it's a battle against yourself.
Yeah. I think if I could, I'd like to compete in really big contests or competitions. I'd like to have a really good job at a college one day.
Huh.
I'd like to have a DMA, like a doctorate in it.
It's like you'd be a good teacher. Did you say you wanted to teach? Is that correct?
Yeah, to definitely teach. In most classical, even like people who tour and make good money touring, they still teach.
Yeah,
at a college and
stuff. That's a recent realization for me, is that like it's very, very hard to be in the music industry and not have another job. So
yeah, especially classical music, unless you're like, that's such a small percentage of classical. Like you have to obviously like Yo-Yo Ma doesn't need to teach, but like he's like
0.0001% of them.
Even guitar, I think too, because people just like it, you know, because it's like they want to. For me, tennis is different because I've coached at a resort, and you know, doing that, you can make good money, but you're not teaching like passionate people as much, and you're seeing different. Where like, say you do teach like good kids, you're not gonna make that much money going that route with it. And same, but guitar, hopefully I could be at a college. You're teaching good kids who are passionate, you make decent money.
Yeah, it's like finding the thing that pays you as well as is soul filling is extremely difficult.
Yeah,
but when you do it, it's perfect.
Yeah, I do like to teach and try and help people.
Absolutely, man. I feel like you're good at that. You got to. I stand by it, dude. I think you sound a lot more clear headed these days, man. I feel like you were in disarray last time we podcasted together.
Really?
I really do.
What
man.
did I seem like? I want to listen to it now.
You do need to listen to it. Maybe it seemed like you were just like looking for what you needed, man. There was a lot of questions like, how do you know that that's what you want to do? Like stuff like you were just like looking around for what your thing was still. And I'm sure you probably were because I don't think you were playing that much classical guitar. Yeah,
or I was trying to play a lot, but I still didn't know. I didn't know.
It was like you were floating around. You're like, how do I know that this podcasting thing's the thing? Or how do I know that music? I remember you saying that you probably didn't want to be in a band. So, dude, I don't know, dude. You're just speaking more clearer to me. So, good for you, man. Good for you. Well, hell yeah. Let me think of one more question for you, then I'll let you go, all right? Let's see if I can come up with one more heater. I should have wrote something out like you. If you... hold on one second. What is it about classical guitar? Because I feel like this is the most random part about the whole thing. Like, if you'd have told me a year ago that you were going to be the classical guitar, like, is it kind of flamenco style? Is that how you say it? Like, are you playing nylon strings or it's steel strings?
Yeah. I'm playing. It's like similar to flamenco, the guitar, but not the style. Like, you're playing classical music on a classical guitar. Where flamenco, you're playing flamenco music.
What is it? This might not be the best question, but this is what I got for you. What is it about that was like, all right, this is what I want to do, and not like rock guitar or jazz? Like, why that genre?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It seems so niche and like unexpected.
Yeah. So I started playing acoustic when I was 16, and then I started playing electric shortly after. And I never really got into electric that much. I think if I did now, knowing like how to practice and things like that, like I probably would have. Yeah. But then I just kind of ended up just singing and playing acoustic and just tried to sing a lot.
You were a
and
good
then
singer,
I started
man.
the band.
You're a great singer.
Thanks. Yeah, I still like to sing. Like it's like I'm in men's glee, and I still will grab an acoustic and sing sometimes, stuff like that. But yeah, that gets, like, you're not gonna do that 5 hours a day, and you're gonna sing like an hour, practice that, and then you're like, okay, that's enough. But so I wanted something that was more like, kind of like you said, a goal, or like I want to have a goal, and I wanted something more complex musically because I didn't really like electric that much. And so I've discovered that was, a good avenue for that is classical. Yeah. And I love it too, and that's weird too because I always heard that music. I think I've talked about this before, but I always heard that stuff growing up, like classical music, and didn't hear classical guitar, but other classical music, but now it's like I love it, and I don't know if it's because I study it, so I kind of like, not that I like understand it, but like when you're like
immersed in it.
I'm immersed in it, and I've really like tried to listen to it and pay attention to it, and I really kind of understand it more and can appreciate it better. Kind of where, like, I guess if you're like you kind of like watching movies, and then you watch like 2001 or something like that, you're not gonna like it. Yeah. But if you're really into films, you're gonna want to watch something from 1935 that was important for cinema, things like that. So you know, to appreciate it. And
I like that, man. That's a good answer, and I think I'm glad you found your niche, because like there's no way you're faking that, if you know what I'm saying. Like, if it draws you in that much, like that's real. Do you know what I'm saying?
And the thing is, it's not like I don't think I was born to be a classical guitarist. Like, I could have like, I love tennis. I like doing this too, but I think like. You like we were saying, like, you got to have that thing. Yeah. And it could be multiple things. Maybe I was born to be a classical guitarist. I don't know. Well, I guess maybe in 10 years. We'll see, I'll look back and...
No, we're going to do a pod in 10 years and be like, yo, you still playing, bro?
Dude, yeah, I'll be...
We need to keep these monthly, bro, and fucking just keep checking in, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
we'll have a pretty great catalog.
Yeah.
How long has it been since the last one? It was probably like...
It's been too long.
It's probably like
I don't want to take up too much of your time, but yeah, I always like talking to you.
No, dude, just text me anytime, dude. We need to just keep it going and make it maybe try monthly or every 2 months or something, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Because I'm love to check back in with people and see how the process is going. Like, Julian came back on and said a lot of the opposite stuff from the last one.
Yeah, I'm
gonna
listen. I'm excited to listen to that one because you had him on a while ago, the first one.
Yeah, it was like.
And then I know I had talked to him some, and he still was gonna say the same stuff. That'll be cool.
It's like all kind of new theories and stuff, and from both sides. So it's really nice. This will be like a great catalogization. I want to start doing these with fucking like everybody, man. Like, I feel like a podcast with my parents would be dope. You know what I mean? Just to listen back on one day. I don't know. That's a strong thought, but dude, I love to hear that classical guitar is your thing for the moment. and just keep riding that pony, keep tasting things, man. I feel like you sound like you're passionate enough about it to where it's not a waste of time at all. It sounds very productive.
Very
which
meaningful.
is the goal. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you're practicing 5 hours, good Lord, man, that's impressive.
Yeah, like I said, some people do 10, 12.
That's insane, bro. When I was in like middle school, that was my thing. I thought I was going to be a guitar player. I wanted to reinvent the instrument, you know what I'm saying?
Really?
And like I was just obsessed. I was like a 6 to 8 hour kind of guy. Like all of it was
in middle school.
In middle school, yeah.
I didn't know you started that young.
Yeah, dude, I started playing when I was 12, which is somewhere in that middle school.
I mean, that makes sense because I forget how good you are.
It goes under the radar. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
No, like
that.
I don't like. Yeah, when I see you live, I remember because when you're just kind of hearing something like in a studio, you don't really sometimes like I don't pay attention to it, but when I see it live, it's like
it clicks.
He's legit. Yeah, it's in it because I know too stuff's with Van Halen.
Yeah, that was the guy I wanted to be. It kind of still is. I just wanted to be Eddie.
He kind of reinvented it.
Yeah, that was exactly what I wanted to do. That exact template. Yeah, and now I don't even really play like that's like. You haven't seen us in a while, but when you come see us, you'll see the show's different now, and like
you just sing a lot, right?
I just sing a lot, man.
That's cool
I love
for
singing.
The crowd. Yeah,
yeah, and I feel like I can entertain better without a guitar in my hands, so I think that's important. But on that note, what was I saying about that? That was important. It wasn't just about me, was it? God, I feel like that was looping around back to you, but maybe it wasn't, man. Yeah. I don't think it was. You ready to wrap this thing up?
Yeah, man.
I don't know how many minutes we're in because we're in a different session now, but thanks to everybody for listening.
Fun, yeah.
Yeah, thank you all for listening. Check out Luke on Instagram. What's your Instagram, Luke?
Luke_Fuse. My last name is Fucetola.
Yes, sir. Check him out. Thank you for tuning in.
LUK_FUCE.
Yeah, so you might as well check the podcast out too. A Gen That Talks. Maybe coming back in the next couple years. Maybe not. Who cares, man?
Yeah.
It'll be good either way. So at least you chased that idea down. You know what I'm saying? I think you did a good job, man. I'd say 99% of podcasts don't make it 20 episodes in, so you should be proud of that, man.
Yeah, I mean, like 28.
Let's go, bro.
Dude,
You're
I'm proud. I like seeing like every time you put something new up. I'm like, you should keep going, dude.
I'm fucking grinding, man. I think this will be like episode 71 or 72.
Dude, and I feel honored to be here.
Dude, do you remember when we did the first one together and you were like, where do you want to be next year? And I was like, at 100 episodes. I wonder like how close we're going to be on that. I need to look back at the date to see when I need to be at 100 episodes by so I can hold myself to it. But yeah, anyways, dude, sorry. Thanks for coming in, man.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
Give them a wave for the thumbnail. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. This has been the Jameson on the Rocks podcast. I will see you later. Thanks for watching the show. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts. Subscribe on YouTube. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts if you don't mind. Check out all our great sponsors. If you want to be a sponsor, hit me up. Yeah. More episodes like this coming. This was great. Blast. See you, man.
See you, man.
Got me wondering, got me